Yo, yo.
What up? What up? What up? What up? You can hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got the mic in today. Oh, let me make sure. You can hear me better now?
Yeah, you good. You ain't gotta
All
hold
right.
up to your face
Hold
like
on. Give me 1 second. Let me close the door. Let them know I'm finna do the podcast.
that.
Yo, we
Yo.
are. Oh shit. We are the world. We are the children.
You
What up?
ready?
What up with it, man?
What up? What up? Hold on, hold on. You ready? Let me
I'm
start
good.
the show. Let me start the show. Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? What up? What up? This is
What up,
Society
world?
Culture, man. I got the homie Black Adam. We back at it again. I am Blue. Y'all know
All
how.
right, I'm Black Adam.
Yeah, man. We live today, man. We live.
We in.
Yeah, yeah. We live today, dog.
You ain't let me know. Let me tell nobody, man. You slid that one in on me.
Yeah, we live today, man. Hopefully, we get some viewers, some people to talk about. I just posted it up on the book, and I got it on the gram, so we'll see what's good. But
You should have sent it
today,
to me so I could have posted it. Damn, bro.
you want me to send it to y'all? Send it to y'all now.
I don't think I can mess with it. You know, I'm on my phone.
Oh yeah, that right, that right. You good? You good? If we get some viewers, we get some viewers, man. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about today, man. I want to talk about, it's MLK Day today. I want to talk about his
Is
legacy.
it today or is it that it's
But
being
it's
celebrated today?
being celebrated today. So it's
Okay,
today. It's being celebrated. The parade was today. Everything MLK is today.
it's
Right?
today.
Okay.
Okay.
So I want to talk about his legacy and I want to talk about the hypocrisy of America when surrounding his legacy. And I want to talk about what it'd be if he was still alive. So yeah, man,
Which
where
one you want to do first? God damn. You know what I'm saying?
I know, huh?
That's a
I know.
whole lot, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he had a remarkable life. You know what I'm saying? Humble beginnings
Right.
to where we uplifted to him, and I hate to say it, but symbolize him as of now, not just as blacks, but also as whites. Symbolize his movement,
Mhm.
the civil rights era, heavily talked about with him. So it's just all about where you want to start at.
Um, well, let's talk about
I was also happy Martin Luther King Day. You
right,
know,
right. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Let's talk. Let's you know what? Let's talk about how we do MLK and how we represent MLK today, whether it's you black, white, whatever, as an American, how we look at MLK today, right?
as
Um,
in, as in the
what it means to
precinct
you,
as the
like,
American government.
well, no, what it personally means to you, like
Uh,
personally for you, what does MLK represent?
I think it represents the civil rights era. I mean, I think he was one of the leaders. As I get older, though, I see that it was some figures that should be mentioned along with this day. Like, I don't think it should just be Martin Luther King's day. I think that kind of weakens that era
Okay,
and what made him great.
tell me why that. Explain
I
that.
hate to, I hate to say that it because as you look back, it was people who walked along with him during the Selma Walk, other advocates that we don't currently. I think one of them just passed away. The one that got into it with Trump, the bald-headed guy out of Atlanta. What's his name?
Right. I think, was he a senator?
He was a senator, right?
Yeah. I know
him. The grassroots movements of that time that kind of got a lot of the ball rolling. I mean, we honor Rosa Parks. I think we don't give Jesse Jackson as much credit as maybe as we could. Malcolm X was pivotal. I think he is more key. I think he's of equal key to Martin Luther King. And the reason why I say that is because that is what allowed to be two narratives. So that is what gave America the opportunity to choose between this side and that side. And it was their choice. It was their choice to make a choice.
America or blacks?
No, America. Okay. White America, predominantly.
Okay.
They were allowed to choose between which leader did they want. Because both was on TV, both was activists, both was making movement in the black community. So you had they kind of got the right to choose our leader, right? And I hate to use the word right, but that's kind of like what they did. They chose who they wanted. And it was because they were in power. They were able to communicate with who they wanted to communicate and not communicate with who they didn't want to communicate with. So I think that, and like I said, the grassroots, the small time situations, the people that went to jail, the boys boycott. He didn't absolutely do that by himself. I kind of feel like it should be National Civil Rights Day.
Okay.
Or the Civil Rights Movement Day. Even though they gave, it kind of came along with giving women the right to vote and all that stuff. Them picking back off of our movement, all of that. But at the same time, it was the Civil Rights Movement, and he was a key figure that they kind of like chose. But that's not the whole story. I guess that's what MLK Day showed. Well, shit, what does it mean to me then? I guess what it means to me, let me go back and answer that question. What does it mean to me? It's a day of celebration. It's a guidepost. It's knowing that we have to be humble under great oppression, sometimes even life-threatening situations. Us as Black people and those are our ancestors. Right, all those people that put in work, those ancestors were very humble. Some of them were real fighters, tough as nails. Right. And I think MLK is white America's prescribed leader, and also our prescribed leader. We love him, we adore him, but we need to glorify the whole situation around MLK Day. And just know that Black people came together. They had a singular issue. It was managed correctly. At one point, you would even give him the leader of the Black folks, not all the Black folks, but a substantial amount of Black folks agreed with
like that, right?
What he was saying. But that's what MLK Day is to me. What would I want from MLK Day is also to be able to tell the whole story of the civil rights movement. I don't know if we absolutely get an opportunity to hear about the whole story, the two sides. I know white America or the government wouldn't like to tell the whole story, right? Because you also have the Black Panthers around that time. You have Malcolm X, you have Farrakhan, you have the Muslim movement, and MLK is more of a Christian guy by the Bible. Muslims are more of the Quran, which is something that America, isn't founded upon, but doesn't like. Uh, Protect yourselves. MLK was more like joining together. The other sides may have been like, hey, let's manage our own. But I would just like that to be. You can't move forward. Martin Luther King made it to where we can move forward as a unit. The others may have, I guess, wanted us to take care of our own a little bit more before we moved out and joined up.
Right.
I would say that. But what MLK mean to me is a day of celebration. We got rights out of it. We were able to change America. We was able to change the narrative of some of the things in America. And it gave us the opportunity to be great. More so than ever before. Not saying we didn't have the ability to be great back then, but it was under mass amounts of way more scrutiny, no laws to protect us, no nothing. So MLK Day is a celebration of us, taking us as African Americans taking a step forward. Right. And us understanding economics of America.
Okay.
Us understanding our position in America. Us understanding our power in America. Us being able to hear our voice, not for the first time, but strongly and more powerful than before.
Okay. Okay.
And that's what I think MLK Day is supposed to be celebrating. And it's supposed to be saying that we're moving forward. And we don't have to use violence to move forward. That's my take.
Okay. Hey, you went in. Yeah, I agree with I agree with your points. I look at MLK as what it would be like a measuring stick for America. And the reason I say that is not to say like what you said was wrong, but you know what I'm saying, as I look at MLK and then I look at how, well, since I'm talking about it for me, since I see America and what they do for MLK now, right?
Versus back then.
Right, versus back then. They hated this dude. Hated it. You know what I'm saying? When I say hated, I think his I think they did like a poll. He had like a 75% disapproval rate. Like nobody, like America didn't like this dude. Black and white. We like to say that a lot of blacks was on his side. A lot of blacks weren't on this man's side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of blacks weren't on this man's side. But I think his martyrdom meant a lot once it happened. Once he was assassinated, once he was killed, once he did that, and they, you know what I'm saying? And I think people looked at it like, just because you didn't like Cuz don't mean you had to go and kill Cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think his death was way more powerful than the sum of all his words, his protest, his standing on the picket lines, all of that stuff. Once that death happened, I think it galvanized America. What it was, 1960, what it was, 68, I think is when he was assassinated.
I think so.
Something like that. Was it 68? Either way, in the 60s, mid 60s, late 60s. But it galvanized America. And I think we use the reason why, and I mean, we use Martin Luther King as this kumbaya symbol. Hey, we all should get together, white, black, indifferent, whatever, to get together. And I think that's what MLK means to me. For us to come together and put aside all our differences, rich, poor, it don't matter. We need to come together and try to strive to make something better when it comes to America. You know what I mean? So, I guess that's kind of piggybacking on
you.
Huh?
I said, God damn, I said way more than you.
Yeah,
I
nah,
should have been my shit generic,
but
goddamn.
nah, you said everything you said was basically the same thing with me, but I just because I want to get a reason why I said it that way because I want to get into the hypocrisy of America when dealing with MLK. Like I said, he had this low approval rate. Nobody liked him, both sides. Uh, and he was operating a specific way right before he had changed his approach before he was assassinated. Right, he went from trying to be super pro black, we only doing this for blacks. Then he went more looking at it from a, I want to say court. I don't think that's the right word because he was, yeah, corporate side. Like he started looking at how America is a business and how can black folks be involved in this business? How can poor folks be involved in this business? At least, I mean, that's what it looked like to me. Like I said, I'm not the best MLK scholar. I'll give that up right now. I'm not the best MLK scholar, but from what I understand, his approach switched kind of to that. You know what I'm saying? What commercially, business wise, can Americans or black Americans, poor Americans, how can we get that to be evened out? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about his point of view changing?
Right.
Uh, I feel like it was going to be inevitable because once you look at that, what really separates people in America in a capitalist society?
It's money.
The ability, it's not just money, the ability to make it.
To make money.
The ability to make money is what separates us.
Right.
So me as a black man, right? We'll go out and be like, hey, you know, I wanna do this, or I wanna do that. And it's nowhere, it's few and far between to find another like brother or another like sister that can help me do that.
Right.
They're not just walking down the street helping each other. They're not just they're not everywhere. Right. So it was inedible once he got around and he seen how the whites were networking at the upper level. Right. So when he see that, he was like, oh, he probably was like, oh, snap, like they giving them that. His advisors would come back and probably, you know, like, what were they having meetings about today? Oh, they was having meetings about, you know, giving away free land in Nebraska. Because they wanted them farming, and then they would be paying them to do it. Like, hold on now. They make it seem like they ain't got no money to give out. They making it seem like they ain't got no way to help us. We have to answer our own problems, find our own solutions.
Right.
But they know how to handle their problems and their solutions. Why can't they do it for us? Right? So that narrative was going to be bound to change once you see the power that America was wielding for who it wanted to wield it for. Now, he knew that it was segregation. He knew that it was separate but equal, but he didn't know how unequal it really was until he probably started taking them trips to the White House more and more and more often. Started going to the Senate more and more and more. Now, he probably was getting denied. And like I said, he probably started asking questions. What they doing up this motherfucker? You know, because most black people are not thoroughly educated on how the government works. We know that we know branches.
Yeah.
But we don't, I mean, we know how laws, we watched a little movie on the show on PBS about how a bill is passed. That's not all it is to the government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They keep it, even today, they keep it real simple about what go on up there. But it's by far more what's going on. We can look at right now the COVID bill, all them pages, all them different rules, all them different ways to hand out money, all that different access to money. They were doing that back then. They ain't just learn to do that in 2021. They've been doing it probably since the 40s or the 30s or the 20s, maybe.
No, I think that's just the MO, regardless.
That might be right, but he begins to get access to that MO, so he was bound to change. I think that changing that way was more fearful than galvanizing us as being humble joiners of a system.
Mm.
Right? Because we were already part of the system. We just didn't want to fit in our mold anymore. It wasn't that we wasn't part of this car or any of that. It wasn't that whites and black wasn't both poor equally, or but we had different access to opportunities.
Right.
And that's what he wanted to change. Give us some opportunities. I think I remember seeing an article where I don't even think he was absolutely against reparations.
Mm.
Right? But they made sure not to tell him that he never got around to saying, "Hey man, America, tell us y'all sorry." The talk that you gave me that day in the car. All we wanted to talk.
Right.
Right. And I said America should be off of action. They never did neither one of them.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But I think he was bound to change his narrative. I think he was bound to see the true difference once knowledge was passed on down to him. And once he gains more and more knowledge of what actually America is all about. I don't think that he was liked. I don't think that he was loved. I mean, even back then, excuse me, you can kind of tell that black people wouldn't like the love for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, maybe a few of them didn't mind us.
You want to entertain?
Huh?
If you wasn't an entertainer.
Right. If you want an entertainer, then now. And even if you was an entertainer, I still don't have to like you. I just like your entertainment.
Mm.
I don't like nothing else about you. I don't like where you come from. I don't like how you breathe. I like how you sing though.
Right.
I like sometimes when you act. But other than that, I don't like you. I don't care nothing about you. And a lot of people in America were still on that type of time. So he was hated. But his counterpart was hated even more though.
Well, do you think he would be liked today? And you know what? I'll go into it. I don't think he'd be liked today.
I don't think he would either.
And that's what I mean by the hypocrisy of America.
Especially in 2022, 2021, 2019.
I'm gonna just say
definitely not liked.
I'm gonna just say from 2001 on forward, especially.
I'm not gonna say that.
I would, and this is the reason why. King was against the Vietnam War. He was against it because it was he looked at it more as a profiteering scheme than anything else. It was more so about profiteering, America profiteering and using the might, you know what I'm saying, like the imperialistic imposing. It's like what can I say? Shit.
They were wielding the hammer on somewhere in the world.
Somewhere else in the world that we had no business even being in. I think he said something about policing the world or something like it's not America's job to police the world or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, here, you know what? I think I just found it right. He says America was undeniably the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. This was him talking about the war in Vietnam in 1967. So the greatest purveyor of violence in the world. Purveyor of violence in the world. That means from, like I said, 01 on to right now. All we've been doing, we've been the longest war in American history. We just, I guess if you want to say we ended it, what it was, a couple months ago, 2 months, 3 months ago. What was that? October, November
2021.
Right. So for one thing, he would have stood up against all of that shit. He wouldn't have been down with none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Buildings hit, be damned. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go to war for that, boom, get in, get out. You know what I'm saying? I think if anything, that would have been as far as he would have supported the war effort, right? Shit, he wasn't even around for the war on drugs. And I think about it, shit, he might not even like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't think a lot of the actions in America he would have liked, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, those were situations where he could have been the voice or the reason to galvanize the few that followed him, right? But the problem with all of those situations is it takes massive amounts of Black people to understand, right? And to have an opportunity. And I think his strongest ability may have been being able to touch mostly everybody. Eventually, he would get this.
But see, now remember,
beginning,
this
not
is
through, and I'm just talking about the young people, right?
remember
Like, because I can look at it and maybe think like, hey, as those young people get older, they would have some type of representation to bounce off of. And the reason why I say that is this: he could maybe come out and say, hey, look, I know them drugs over there. I know it's easy to sell drugs. I know that it's easy to get a lot of money. But let's do this. See, now we don't have nobody to give no direction. You're just giving direction to yourself, right? We are a very, very selfish set of people. And back then, it was like we were kind of close. Now, it didn't work everywhere, and it wasn't for everybody. We're not saying it. But what we're saying is we had some people come out like, hey, man, we ain't selling dope like that. Now, we know that y'all sell dope a little bit. We ain't selling it like that, though. And we're not going to do that. You know, like well, pretty much like he was a leader, you know, and I think like the war on drugs, I don't think he would have been able to stop it. Drugs was coming.
What about the mass incarceration of black folks? Because that regime,
I think he could have been. It's not much that anybody could stop when America wants to do.
No. That ain't. We're not talking about stop. We're talking about.
Right? But could he have spoken out against it? He most definitely. He would have been advocating. He would have been at some of the court cases.
Well,
he would get all of that.
This is why I bring that up, because as I'm looking right here, the Congressional Black Caucus, they were one of the big main proponents behind that push, locking up the brothers, sisters, whoever who was dealing drugs.
Right. Because they saw so he might have been on the other side. But sometime by being on the other side, he may have caught himself quick enough to say, hey, look, they're gonna misuse this shit. And it's kind of like how we were talking about the Patriot Act the other day. Right. Man, them shits be sounding perfect when they come out. But then when they get the ability to get misused on them, shit you can do. Them motherfuckers are disasters waiting to happen. Right? And hopefully he probably would have been on the side of like shit. Most people would be like, look, man, y'all killing all the children. You locking up all the grown folks getting on this shit. We just watching ourselves disappear because of this shit. We got to find a stop. Like, black people still want to be protected. Black people still want,
and I agree.
Opportunity.
But with that came black folks this 5 to 10% more so than just letting this dude sit. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate this. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people to where
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Not necessarily damned if you do, damned if you don't. But, you know, I look at a drug dealer as, you know what I'm saying, bad. But I also look at a drug dealer as him doing it out of, I guess, necessity or need, right? And if he's doing that, if he can somehow take, because people gonna find a way to get drugs one way or the other, with or without.
That's what I'm saying.
The big homie on the block, right? Now, if the big homie on the block can take that money and reinvest into his community, or get behind, let's say, a MLK, the next MLK, or the next Jesse Jackson, or, you know what I'm saying, the next Al Sharpton, whoever, the next community leader, and I can fund his campaign movement to help certain things, then I think, which kind of sound crazy, but I think that's quid pro quo. I think that's a 1-for-1. You know what I'm saying? You let me operate over here, and I make sure, you know what I'm saying, you get the funds, the money, and the people on your side. Because normally, even though you know what I'm saying, people hated the dope man was the neighborhood superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The pusher man was the neighborhood superhero. So I'm on the fence on whether he would have been for or against the war on drugs.
I think he would have been forward, man.
But I do think if
he the outcome, he would have. See, it's kind of like how Joe Biden, not to say anything positive about him, but like how Joe Biden said, I didn't realize what I was really voting for.
With the crime bill.
With the crime bill. right? Sort of like that. Like I said, when these people get their hands on it and they figure out ways to misuse it and abuse it, they're gonna do that. So I really think that would have been one of his greatest pitfalls. He probably would have looked at that as one of his greatest pitfalls, joining up and promoting that. He probably would have never said it publicly, but I think it would have been one of his greatest pitfalls because it comes from a good place. Like it literally does come from a good place, but misused
on
like
the surface,
incarcerating way more of ours and not giving them a chance afterwards. No rehab, no redevelopment. You just throwing them in jail, putting them on chain gangs, and keeping them in there and redoing it over and over and over again with very little opportunity on the back side. So he would have thought of that probably as one of his worst decisions ever made.
Right.
That's what I think.
What side of the aisle, since we got this two-party system, what side of the aisle do you think MLK would have leaned with? Do you think he would have been more a Democrat or more Republican? Because if I remember correctly, I think he was a Republican.
That's where I would have put him at. I would have put him more Republican.
Back then, though, do you think he would have stayed Republican today?
I think so. I think he is a conservative type guy. The type of change that the Democrats say that they bring about, they never do it. So even if he was to switch, he would probably switch back because they lie too much. Right. They always promising, right? And that's just not even promising to blacks. They promise to whites too.
Yeah.
And don't ever do nothing. The one party who pushes and get change done is the Republican Party. I hate to say it. But since my day, in my mind, I think that's what's been going on.
Okay, I'm gonna read this little excerpt. And this is about whether he would have been a Republican or not. It says, according to their deranged worldview, Dr. King is a Reagan Republican and Christian nationalist and neoliberal gangster capitalist who supports deregulation, privatization, and gun culture. This alternate reality version of Dr. King also stands against wokeness and Black Lives Matter. His legacy has been stolen, we are told, by the Democrats and the Black establishment as a means to oppress the Black community. Moreover, the Democratic Party is a plantation, and Dr. King's memory and legacy are being used by Democrats, liberals, and Black elites to keep Black Americans mentally enslaved and not thinking for themselves. What do you think about that excerpt?
Why do they always want to keep Black people enslaved and mentally impoverished? And like everybody's narrative is to run off with that. That man got the opinions of what he want what he want America to be. If hold on, I'm gonna get to it.
All right.
If because you got to break Dr. King down. Okay, does he believe in gun control, or does he believe in that you should be able to wield your own gun? Well, where do you decide with that? For me, I think I should be able to have me a motherfucking gun, right? It was technically my God-given right by this country, right? My belief in Christianity. If it's strong, it's strong, right? So I'm gonna go with that. Yes, right. What the fuck does that got to do with me being woke? Nothing. That's what I want. That's one of my wants, right? What else they said about him that he thought of? Oh, a capitalist gangster.
Right. You reading that?
No.
Oh.
I didn't remember that you said that. Capitalist gangster. What is that? Because they put that in context as being negative, right? What is Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Alan Greenspan, or Mark Cuban? Are they capitalist gangsters?
I would say so.
Okay, so and they rich, right?
You can't be a capitalist gangster without being rich. That's how I look at it.
Right. So what's wrong with that? So on the other side of that, you got the other side who's saying downgrading woke culture. Okay. So are they against guns? Are they against you having a gun to protect yourself?
You think woke? Because all right, let me
No,
let me
no, no,
pause.
no. I'm not saying that's what woke is. I'm just saying if they saying that that's Republican, right? Guns, right?
Right.
That means that they don't believe in guns because that's the other side of the aisle,
Wait,
right?
who the woke people don't believe in guns?
The Democrats can't believe in guns if they saying that that's the Republicans.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So
Which would be the woke people? Which would be the wokeness?
which would be the woke people technically,
And
right? So they don't even want you to defend yourself.
I really
Like
hate
number
that
two, they don't want you to have no money because they saying the capitalist gangster is on the Republican side, right? Then they said he's a Christian, right?
Yeah.
Diehard nationalist Christian. So they telling you they don't want you to have freedom of religion on the other side.
Right.
Like people don't understand, like when they say that it's on the other side, that means they are opposing it on the other side. Right. So what are the Democrats were standing for if they weren't standing for him having his right to bear arms? They weren't standing for the Constitution. Because that's what the Constitution gives you. Right. The right to bear arms. Capitalism. Free enterprise. That's what the Constitution gives you.
Right.
So once again, they're not standing for the Constitution. So what are they for? Are y'all for the downfall of America? Or what change do y'all want to bring to America? Is the real question. As a Democrat and as a Republican. Now we're not saying that because back then they used to meet in the middle of the road, which was an amazing thing back then, comparable to today. Used to meet in the middle of the road a lot. And I liked that about America. Because now we have you either or you're or. Right, which is how I'm showing this example from his words, and it was always somewhere in the middle.
Let me read these other excerpts real quick. It says, now the real Martin Luther King Jr., as opposed to the de-radicalized, deracinated, distorted, whitewashed, and decommodified figure now used to sell all manner of consumer goods, was a civil rights leader, a hope warrior, and a martyr. He was also a democratic socialist. The real Dr. King opposed militarism, nationalism. He stood with the powerless and oppressed against the powerful. He supported affirmative action, reparations for white on black chattel slavery and Jim Crow, and guaranteed minimal income and other substantive material and other attempts to ameliorate America's long history of injustice against Black Americans and other people of color. The real King supported social democracy. The real Martin Luther King would without a doubt have supported the scholarly framework known as critical race theory and its conclusions about inequality in America's social and political institutions. The real Martin Luther King Jr. would have stood firm against the forces of Trumpism, American neo-fascism, white supremacy, and the white right and conservative movement more broadly. Leaders of those movements would have found him an implacable enemy. And like I said, at that time, he was one of the most unpopular figures in America, as he probably would. I agree with that. He was unpopular then. I think he would be hella unpopular today. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the way things have swung. Or
actually, I actually like the fact that they put the Trumpism factor in there, right?
Because that's a movement.
Because that's a movement, right? And he would have been opposite of that, I think.
Right.
Because what is make America great again? Like, I mean, just that whole slogan. And if we've had that slogan before, same thing going back to them. What is make America great again?
Right.
Right. And as a black person, it's like, God damn, how bad has America got for y'all ass? Shit. Well, y'all got to remake it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but that's just my joke about that. Not a joke, but that's the kind of like my truth on that. But I don't think that he would have been liked. And I think, like I said before, I think he was for reparations. I think he was for fixing a particular group of America, right?
No, I think as a leader, I think he would have supported all of those affirmative action, reparations, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Minimum income,
demilitarization. I don't know so much. I know he was against the war.
Well, I put it to you like this: if we're talking, I think I want to scratch that out and say defund the police. Let's change
I think he would have went for that.
Right. Let's because when the militarization, I want to put that as far as not because we know what I hope ain't no other country watching this, but we know what what our military really go to. You know what I'm saying? If we done all been out there, you know what I'm saying? Me and you, we both vets, we know where the money really go, right?
Right.
But I think he would the defund the police thing, I think
I
he
think
would
he would have got on that.
because
Would
that's
he have changed and added things? I think so.
well, I was gonna say because to me, that is the militarization, you know, because all it is has been police has been becoming more militarized year after year after
Year. Budget's been growing.
right.
I mean, goddamn fear control, crowd control, all that shit been growing.
You know what I'm saying? So and nationalism. I think he would have opposed nationalism because right now we're putting that flag or being or what that flag's supposed to represent or whatever above what it means to actually be American. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
agree.
um,
It's like pulling the wool over the sheep
yeah. Mm-hmm.
because y'all saying that America is about this by taunting the flag and about us being a nationalist or us being the United States of America. But then once you go up under that sheet, man, boy, that separation of motherfucker up under that.
Well, it goes back to the heated discussion we got in about the Confederate flag, right?
Correct. I was
That's
thinking.
that's a nationalistic thing. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But yeah, I really don't foresee him being liked.
I think more so than not, I think he comes off as that wise father figure, right? And maybe at this point in time, we all the rebellious children. So most definitely, we're not gonna be wanting to hear some of that bullshit he talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, yeah, I think it's more so we like like I say, with him being a martyr, we like the idea of Martin.
Right.
We like the idea, but do we like does America like the man?
Nah.
Martin Luther King?
Nah.
That's
they always say about what he stood for.
What he stood for.
But shit, if you didn't live back there, what the fuck was he standing for?
You know what I'm saying?
Like that could be turned, washed. I think the other day we was watching Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Hey man, do a news report for me." Right? To make them see us as more human.
More human, right.
More human. Right? And that's kind of like what Martin Luther King could have been turned into. They like the idea. But not him.
Let me read.
People come on, and the lady who authorized the speech would come on and say, "I've done some terrible things.
Right.
Hung some people. They know who I really am.
They know who I really am. Right. Mm-hmm.
But that's not who I am now." That's what she used as the excuse.
Got to.
And that's the same thing I think it is. We don't know who Martin was back then, but we like the idea of Martin now.
Right, like the idea. This is a little excerpt from letter from Birmingham jail, and I want to break this down. I want to take maybe another 5 minutes, break this down, and then we'll call it there. But it says, "I have almost reached a regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride toward freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the KKK, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than justice." Reason I like that excerpt is because
that's the biggest truth.
Right, because we get everybody, that last thing, that white moderate who is more devoted to order than justice, that's what we're getting now. We're getting a lot of these, you know what I'm saying, we get these white folks, get them up on stage, and they claim that they want, you know, everything equal, this, that, and the third, but it's more so for them, it's about order. It's not about justice. It's about order.
You're not doing the right thing.
Right. It ain't about that. It's about order. You know what I'm saying? And that's
why. That's the biggest day I remember that was Dave that we worked with.
Right.
He was, I know the police are bad. But they gotta do it. Like, what the fuck?
No, right. You know what I'm saying?
How does that work out?
Order. And but that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? I think more white Americans look for more order than anything. Than justice. More order. Like I said, I was watching. It came up on my timeline on my feed, man. WALB Albany, Georgia. It was during this time, Martin Luther King time in the 60s, and black and white video, and they was going around asking all the people in the city, mostly white, because back then the city was mostly white. And he was actually arrested in Albany, Georgia, back in the day. But asking the white folks what do they think about the civil rights movement and
disrupting the peace,
them coming up, right? Hey, they could stay over there, but you know what I'm saying, I don't want them disrupting what we got going on here. We got to keep order. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep order, you know what I'm saying? And that right there, that one line, white moderates.
I might be part of that too, and because our conversation about the Capitol building. Because I was, if you looked at my side of it, I think I was more saying like, "Hey, man, they were breaking the rules, dog. They were breaking the order of how things supposed to be handled." You know what I'm saying? And then they allowed to break the order.
I think you said that, but you got away from that, and that's why I wouldn't equate you to. I know you kind of look at yourself now, but
I'm saying that early on in the conversation, that's what if you would have said that early on in the conversation, I would have been like, God damn it.
Right. What you evolved into this. Because you kind of looked at it like, man, they break, you know what I'm saying? That's the Capitol building, man. Right. And I kept saying, but you know what I'm saying, that's their right to do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But then I was like, they broke the law.
Right. What did I say? Once they broke in,
then it was like a different ball game.
Right. It's a different ball game once they broke in.
And I was like, where was the justice? And then they came out and they was moderate. They were modest. The modest people showed up.
Right. But like I said, I don't. Yeah, you started that way, but as you talked, your conversation evolved into more about justice, because it was more so, hey man, things need to be in place. These people broke in? How many people has been prosecuted? How, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying?
The business aspect of it.
Right. So it is, you know what I'm saying? Because justice should mean a lot for Americans.
Well, because that's what they taught to the rest of the world. They taught it. They act like ain't no corruption. They make it feel like ain't no corruptions. Everybody got to uphold to the law.
Right.
Everybody got to come see the good old law. The law is blindfolded. So I mean, I think for MLK, he started to realize that motherfucking bitch up there ain't blindfolded. that bitch peeking through,
lifting it up
through all the goddamn time, and she always seemed to choose a Negro.
And I mean, salute, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's to wrap it up. Salute to Dr. Martin Luther King. Salute
the whole civil rights era. Right, thank y'all guys for all y'all that are left. Because all y'all should be celebrated.
Right or wrong in the way that they handled their business, because you know what I'm saying,
do it the best way they knew how.
Right. And I was gonna say them dudes, those people, let me not say dudes, because
the women, males and females out there.
Right. They were soldiers, man. They was I don't think we would our kids nah, our kids, they wouldn't be out soon as the dogs and the water hoses come out and the smoke bombs and the lynchings, you know what I'm saying? I think they would have been done. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but I also think that it'll be like these few. I think it'll be more radicals that will go out and fucking want to kill.
Oh no, I believe it's always gonna be radicals, but I'm talking about like they had a whole movement behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I can't see you getting kids off of Call of Duty to go do a movement.
Go and do this movement.
Now, what they will do is they'll create a virtual world and act like that's where the movement at.
That's where the movement at, right? I mean, they're hashtagging to death now.
Hashtag the fuck out your head, boy, goddamn. But now we got our Karens and we can blast people on social media, so we do it a little different.
Yeah, no, I know it's a different world, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I stand behind this 100%. I do think it's
tough as nails back then.
Huh?
I'm gonna say they was tough as nails back then.
Oh yeah, they was tough as nails. But I was gonna say I do think it's gonna come a time to where people, and it might not just be black people, but a group of people gonna have to rally like that, and it's gonna take some time to get some things done, and they're gonna have to get out there and push the line the way that they did on the civil rights movement.
I agree.
That I think it's gonna come back full circle because it's a lot of taking lately, a lot of rights being violated, a lot of in the guise of emergency or other things. You know what I'm saying? And the emergency
100. That's why I always say about it repeating.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying the other day, like we gotta find ways to stop it from repeating, and we don't have to. And finding a way to silence it is not the same as finding a way to stop it from repeating.
Right.
America loves to silence some shit, right?
Oh yeah.
That ain't the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just take a little bit longer for it to come back, but that ain't the way.
Right.
Not silencing.
So
listen, understand, and develop changes, and don't always change in a negative manner. Change and do things in a positive way. You know what America did since the MLK? They got away from the greater good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got away from the greater good of America. And it's only the good for a certain set of people, a certain good.
Mm.
We got to get back to making America good.
Making it great again.
I say great because I mean, depending on how you look at it, that bitch was never great. So
yeah, nah, I agree with you. Well, the thing is, I don't think it was about. I think a lot of people, when looked at, like you said, the greater good of America, I don't think they saw blacks in that, but we were still a byproduct of making America. You know what I'm saying? Like America, Trump got up there. You know what I'm saying? We talking shithole countries and stuff. It's America looking bad lately. We limping, man. We limping. You know what I'm saying? We look bad, bro.
We do.
We look bad, man.
Abroad, this next guy, he don't do shit.
We look bad, man. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know if I would want to even if I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Like how all the immigrants. I don't even think we get that influx of immigrants like that anymore. That want to come over and
I think because I mean, and it ain't just because of America, but I just think the world is moving in a terrible direction.
Yeah, just caught up. But yeah, man. Like I said, peace to MLK.
Happy MLK Day.
MLK Day. Take your time, and don't just take this time just to have a day off. Go and I'm guilty of it too, man. Go and learn about the reason this day exists. Go and learn about MLK Jr. And his legacy. Go learn about the civil rights movement and all of that stuff, man. Huh?
Go to a museum. Take the time and go to a museum or something.
Go to a museum. Go learn about it. Go learn about it. And if you can't get outside, like I said, man, just watch a quick documentary. I'm pretty sure you get on YouTube, watch a quick documentary. You know what I'm saying? And just get a little bit more knowledge upon why you're off today. If you are off, some people might have went to work today, but you know.
But no one doesn't know about this day.
Right. And him. You know, like I said, the whole legacy. Understand that. Nobel Peace Prize winner. Dude, he was a great dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Great dude. So
even if he wasn't respected in his time.
Right. Still was a great dude. But let's sign it off, man. MLK Day, man.
Happy MLK Day, y'all.
Happy MLK Day. This has been Society. Oh, did you like my that banner I had up, man? Did you even see it?
Oh, you talking about the one with me and you posted up there?
Yeah,
was we at the club or something?
Huh?
Where was we when he took that?
Did you say the prom?
I said the club.
Oh, I thought you said the prom. I was like, this.
Damn, boy, we were. Hey, look, we had the wrong prom right there.
Nah, that was Pro Bowl.
Oh, that was Pro Bowl.
Yeah, was Pro Bowl.
It ain't been one of them in a minute.
Nah, but yeah, this has been Society's Culture. I'm Blue Minotti.
I'm Black Atom.
And we out, man. Happy MLK Day.
Congratulations on your win, Bills.
Hey, we trying to take it to the top, dog. To the top. Y'all play today?
Nah. We play next week, man. We got Debo and them next week.
That's right. Y'all got it next week.
Mm-hmm.
We out, man. Y'all
All right.
good out there. Peace.